If you've been wanting to try your hand at flying a camera drone, this Holystone HS360D might be what you've been looking for. With its budget-friendly price at about a quarter of the cost of other major brands, it might be the answer to the question, are drones for me? In this video, I'm going to go over the unboxing of this Holystone drone so you can actually see what you get in the kit. There's a couple of other small items that you're going to need to have to get this in the air, and I'm going to go over those as well. After we cover the unboxing, I'll go over the steps to make your first flight successful. So let's go ahead and get into the unboxing here. As you can see, it's packaged very nicely. I've already cut the seal on the front here. And when we open up the box, it's in a protective bag here so it doesn't get dirty in shipment, I'm guessing. And we'll unzip the bag, which is nice that you can actually reuse the bag itself. And most drones don't usually come with a nice carrying case like this. This is something that you would usually need to purchase separately, so I was very pleased when I opened the box here and see that it has a very nice carrying case. I do like the soft design of this, so if you're packing it inside a suitcase or another bag, or even in your vehicle, it's not a hard case that's going to scratch other items that you own. So we'll go ahead and open this here. As we can see here, everything is in the box that we possibly could need. As far as we've got the drone here, we've got 2 batteries, and we've got the remote controller here. Up here in this top compartment, we have multiple things. This here is the cables to connect the RC controller to our cell phone. That's one of those other items that you're going to need. You're going to need to have a cell phone. I'm going to use this Samsung Galaxy phone here to fly the drone. The other item that you're going to need to purchase would be a micro SD card. I like these SanDisk Extreme Pro SD cards. They've worked really well for me over the years, and I've never had one actually go bad and lost footage. So I will highly recommend these, and I'll leave a link in the description to that as well. The other item that you're going to need is a higher wattage USB charging device. This one's made by DJI. This is a 65 watt charging port or adapter, I guess you would call it. You can use any USB charger, but the higher wattage is going to charge your battery faster and get you in the air quicker. This one's nice because it actually has 2 ports. This one here with the USB-A can actually charge your remote controller here from an A to a C cord. So I do recommend this charger as well. Let's see what else is in here. In this package here, it looks like there's a spare set of propellers, which is great because eventually I know I'm going to run into something and need some of those. This is the charge adapter for the batteries that when you unbox this, it'll actually sit the battery inside here, and this is what you plug the USB-C cord into. In here, what else do we have? We have the USB A to C cable that we could use on that same adapter I just showed you to charge the remote controller. We have a strap, so if you want to carry it over your shoulder. And the last thing we have is the owner's manual here with the booklet and all that. Now that I've got everything unwrapped on our Holystone HS360D, let's go ahead and take a look at what everything's in the kit now that it's out of the wrappers. We've got our propellers, an A and a B, along with some extra screws and a screwdriver to put it in. There's 2 batteries. I have one here, as well as the one that I've already inserted into the back of the drone itself. There's 3 USB cables. One of them is going to have the Apple Lightning cord. The next one's going to be a USB-A, and in my case, I'm going to use the USB-C because my cell phone actually has a USB-C connector on the back side here. You've got your strap that we saw there. We've got our power port hooked up the power. I've got the USB-C cable that it came with ready to plug into the remote control. And we've got our power adapter or power charging hub, let's call it, ready to go with the red light on it. So to get your battery charging, just take and line up the connector on the back of the battery with the tangs inside the charger. Once you've inserted it properly into the charger, as you see here, the light will start flashing green. The next step that you want to do is take your USB-C cord and in the bottom of the remote controller here, plug it in, and it'll indicate on it that it's actually charging. The next step that we can do is we can do a few things on the drone. The first thing that we're going to look at, but not necessarily do permanently, is remove the gimbal guard. This is something that is as a pilot, you forget to do, but it's very important to do when you get to your takeoff site. So go ahead and grab your gimbal guard at the bottom here and pull it and remove it, and play with it a few times before you actually get to your takeoff site. But you do want to leave that installed anytime that the drone's not in the air to protect the camera lens as well as the gimbal itself in transport. The next thing that we want to do is install our micro SD card. So I'm going to grab my micro SD card here. The side with the label on it and the little tab on it is going to be facing the ground as the drone flies. So on the right hand side of the drone, we're going to put the USB, or excuse me, not the USB, but the micro SD card in and press it until we feel it click. And a lot of the time, I'll do this a couple of times just to make sure I feel it click, because I'm unsure of myself a lot of the time, but it's better to be safe than sorry and have the card pop out. So now the drone is sitting here ready for its first flight. The next thing we need to do is do one more step on the remote controller itself. If we go ahead and pull up on the top of the remote controller, this is actually the antenna as well as the mounting bracket for your cell phone. We need to take one of the USB cables, and it's important to look at the USB cable. On the actual end of the USB connector here, it has a little picture of the remote controller. You want to place that into the top of the RC controller here where it lines up with the USB-C port, and you can put it in either direction, to the right or to the left. In my case, my cell phone here has the port on the right-hand side of the phone if it's oriented normally, so I put the cable that way. The nice thing that Holystone has done here is this cable does not have to be removed for transport. You can actually coil this around inside of the remote control here, and then push the antenna cell phone holder down, and that stores perfectly in there when you put it back in the case. So let's go ahead and install the Holystone app, and then we'll go outside and get this in the air. I now have all the batteries charged up on our Holystone HS360D. I've got the remote control fully charged, as well as a battery in the drone itself that's fully charged. The next step to getting in the air is actually putting the app on your cell phone. The easiest way to do that, Holystone supplies a quick start guide here. Inside the first page is a QR code that'll actually take us to their website so we can download the QR code no matter what operating system you have. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll turn on the scanner on our phone here. We'll touch the link here, and as we see, we've got the HS Fly app. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get that. I'm going to install it. And as you see, it downloads fairly fast here. And we'll go ahead and we'll open the app here. And as you see, it goes horizontal screen there. Everything should be fine here. I'm sure it's going to ask us a bunch of questions like any other app when we install it. The next thing we want to do is we want to put the phone onto our remote controller. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull up the antenna cell phone holder. We'll pull the cord out of the back side and drop it around the back of the remote controller. What I normally do is set the phone in the top of the remote controller, then I pull up from behind and down over the top. I'm going to go ahead and plug the phone into it. To turn on the remote controller, I'm going to press once, and then I'm going to press and hold until the remote controller powers up. Then what we're going to do, that step I told you about before, we're going to take the gimbal guard off of the drone. So that's now removed. And I'm just going to hold down on the power button on the HS360D. You hear it goes through the ESC tones, showing that it does have power to the motors there. And it's in the pairing mode now. Every time you turn on the drone, it's going to go through the pairing mode. It won't keep its connection to the actual drone, but it takes about 40 seconds or so for it to do that. As we can see here on the cell phone, it says allow access to the interface. I'm going to say always do that. And I'm going to automatically always do this. So now we're in there. Now the drone has paired up with the app. We'll touch controls here. Now, when we go into the controls, it's going to ask us for the GPS positioning. I would highly recommend that you say precise there, because that's going to affect that if you do the walking with the remote control in your hand and having the drone fly with you. So I'm going to say while using the application. I'm going to say while using the app on this, and I'm also going to allow this here and allow the music, and I'm going to allow all to my directory there. Now we're into the Fly app itself, and as you can see, we actually have a picture there. If we change the angle of the gimbal here, we can look at the table and we can look up. So now we've got everything ready. As you notice at the top of the screen here, it says there's compass interference. When we get outside, we're gonna go ahead and calibrate the compass, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our first flight, and let's see what the footage and the film, the photos look like. Now that we're outside, the first thing that we need to do is calibrate the compass on the HS360D here. The way we go about doing that is we move the control sticks in and towards the top. That's going to put it into the calibrate compass. As we see on the screen here, it wants us to rotate the drone around horizontally. Now it beeped. Now we need to do it vertically here. Now we need to put it on a level surface. I'm just going to set it down here on the ground. Now we're all good to go. What I'm going to do is carry this over to the landing pad, and we're going to go ahead and get in the air for our first flight. Now remember, it's always important to keep the drone away from you, especially during the first flight, because you really don't know what it's going to do. On our screen here, you can see that everything is proper. This little compass that shows here that only has a 9, now it has 11. That is the interference from outside things like internet, the cell phone that we have here. And speaking of that, one little trick that I've learned from Holystone is put your phone into airplane mode. So I'm going to turn mine on airplane mode. That limits the 5G interference that you have with the transmission of the radio itself. So what we're going to do is we're ready to take off. The way we arm the motors is we're going to move the sticks down and out. You could also move them down and in if you wanted to. If you wanted to stop the motors right now, you would just hold down on the left-hand stick and that would stop the motors. So let's go ahead and we'll turn around here. We'll move down and out. Now, if we want to take off, I can press the button on the side of the remote controller and that'll auto take off as we see here. It'll hover in place. If we want to land again, we can press that button one more time. And you see it automatically landed there. Well, of course, we want to fly now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it the command to turn on the motors, and then we're going to go up in the air. And then we'll go ahead and line of sight fly this. It looks like it's flying really stable. Now, as you can see there, the drone is actually stopped. And the reason it stopped, the drone currently is in a beginner's mode where it limits the distance, and that's a great place to start. In my case, I want to test it. I want to fly a little further. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the settings here. And as you can see, the first thing under parameter is beginner mode. I'm going to turn that off. It wants me to confirm that, so I've confirmed it, and I'm going to save it. Now it goes over the distance that we can fly, the maximum distance, the maximum altitude, which is 393 feet, as you see here. And legally, you can only fly up to 400 feet, whether you're flying in a 107 or not. And the return altitude is 164 feet. You want to set that to a return altitude of the highest item in your area, like a tree or whatever, and give yourself a little clearance. That way it doesn't run into it, because this drone does not have obstacle avoidance detectors. The next thing we can have here is what do you want it to track? These are your basic settings here. And on this last tab over here, you can do things like, in my case, I'm going to turn on the 9 grid. And the reason they call it a 9 grid is there's actually 9 boxes. And I've got mine set to 2.7K here, 30 frames per second here. So we go back here, we'll hit the back arrow. Now we should be able to fly away. And as you can see, we can fly further away. I'm going to go ahead and turn around, and you can see on the screen here in the lower left corner, that's the orientation of the drone to where home is. So if I start bringing it back towards me here, now the drone is almost back to the home location here. As you see, the drone is extremely stable, and it's a great beginner drone to get your feet wet, so to speak, or hopefully not your drone wet, but your feet wet in flying a drone. Now, the video quality on this drone is not the greatest because it's only a one-axis gimbal. It has electronic image stabilization, which really isn't good, as you can see by the image on the cell phone screen that we have there. It's a little shaky. But I found that this actually does take really nice still pictures. So if you're looking to purchase a drone that won't blow the budget, that'll get your feet wet, that'll have a great flight time, comes with 2 batteries, everything that you need, this is going to be a great option to see if this is something for you before you go out and spend well north of $1,000 on a drone that will give you the quality or professional quality videography like you've seen on my other videos in the channel. I just wanted to show you this drone and give you an idea of what you can get for literally a couple of $100s. I really do appreciate you all watching. If you've made it this far in the video, I certainly would appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up and maybe like and subscribe for more content like this. If you'd like to see more flight videos with this Holystone drone, please drop me a comment below. And thanks again for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.